Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to our casual conversation. My name is Muhammad Mursid and I am a student from UPNPJ and I'm original from Kebumen, Central Java. And here's my friend.
Hello everyone, my name is Ariyanto Pratama and I am also a student from UPNPJ. I am from Bogor and today we are very happy because we have a special guest joining us from Japan.
Yes, that's right. And he is actually my friend from my hometown, Kebumen. And now he's currently working in Japan. So today we want to talk about his life there, his journey, and also his experience as an Indonesian living and working abroad.
And
And
please
please.
welcome Mr. Rana.
Hello, Mursid. Hello, Ari. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to join this conversation.
Yes, that's right. We are also thank you, Rana, for spare your time to have conversation with us. And how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. A little tired after work, but I'm happy to hear and talk with both of you.
That's great to hear. Maybe before we start, could you introduce yourself briefly to everyone?
Sure. My name is Rana. I'm originally from Kebumen, Central Java, Indonesia. Right now, I'm living and working in Japan. I have been here for some time, and this experience has really changed to why I see live, work, and the future.
Oh, all right. That's interesting. And so, you're currently live in Japan, right? So, for the very first time, I want to ask you about what made you decide to work in Japan. Maybe you can share a bit about the reason behind your decision to go there.
Okay, about that, the first reason was the lack of job opportunity in Indonesia, and the salary I was getting was now to cover daily expenses. The second reason is the since I was a child, I've always want to try living in Japan.
Wow, that's right. It's interesting, bro. Mm, I can see how both personal development and financial reasons play a big role in your decision. And Japan seems like a great place to grow and challenge yourself. So after making that decision, how did it feel when you first arrived in Japan?
Hmm. The most striking thing was just how strictly people follow the rules here. It's like everyone is so disciplined and mindful of the regulation. Even in the small things, I was really amazed at how much more obedient people are to the rules compared to what have I seen in Indonesian. It's definitely a whole new level. In Japan, we really value time and punctuality. How about Indonesia? Is this culture of time as important and the life of sudden there?
Um, as a student in Indonesia, I can say that the culture of time is important, but it's not as strict as in Japan. But in Jakarta, for example, we often face traffic jams, which make people more flexible with time. But even so, on campus, punctuality is still value that especially for exam or meeting with professor. It might not be as strict as in Japan, but there is still an awareness to respect that time.
So you both must have a pretty busy university routine. How do you manage to balance studying, segment, and personal life?
Okay, about that. For me personally, yeah, it does get pretty busy sometimes. Between classes, assignment, and group projects, it can feel a bit overwhelming for me. But over time, I've kind of learned how to manage it better. Usually, I try to list down what assignment are due and prioritize the most urgent ones first. That way, I don't end up doing everything last minute, and that's the plan. But to be honest, sometimes I still procrastinate a little. And then for balancing my personal life, I always try not to overwork myself. And if I have free time, I use it to rest or just do things I enjoy, like watching movies or play games. And it's really helped me to recharge so I don't feel burnt out. And another important thing is communication, especially for group assignment. And I always try to divide the tasks fairly and stay in touch with my group so the workload feels more doable. And it really helps reduce the stress for me. So yeah, it's not always perfect, but I always try to stay consistent, manage my time, and still make space for myself. And that's probably the key to keeping everything balanced for me personally. How about you, Ari?
Mm, I agree with you that balancing everything can be tough, that especially when there are a lot of tasks or deadline. But I usually try to plan my week well. So I make a schedule for class on assignment so I can set aside time for studying, resting, and hang out with my friends. Then, if I feel stressed, I take some time to relax, go for a ride, or play video games just to clear my mind. So, the key is being disciplined and managing my time well.
Okay, so back to Rana. So, Rana, how did you start looking for a job in Japan? Were there any specific requirements or challenges you faced when you try to looking a job for Japan in Japan?
The initial process was that I searched for a Japanese language school or a language and skill school that could legally place workers. The main challenge I faced was the language, especially the many sentence and character in Japanese, especially is kanji.
Oh yeah, I know that Japan has so many writing character, right? Then for me, you're amazing for being able to get through all that. But it must have been tough at first, but it's great that you stuck with it.
Thanks, Harry. It's definitely was easy, but it was worth it.
So, what kind of work do you do in Japan? Can you tell us a little about your daily routine, especially in your work?
Here, I work in food processing, especially making bread, especially for school around the company. Because school day here are from Monday to Friday, the company I work for operates from Sunday to Thursday. Since the bread is made a day before it's consumed. In addition to bread for school, there are also bread sold to the market. Right now, I work in the baking section. The challenge I face is that Japan is about to enter summer, and the room temperature in the work area is quite high, especially because the oven is always on, making the temperature even higher. So, what do you both think about the culture difference between Indonesia and other countries? For example, do you feel the work culture or the way people interact about may be different from Indonesia?
I'm first, okay. From what I have seen in online, the culture is very different between Indonesia and other countries, especially in how people interact and value time. In Indonesia, people are more relaxed when talking on socializing, and we are less formal. But in countries like Japan or in Europe, people value being on time and are more formal. They also keep their personal conversation more private and focus on work. This make people seem professional, but sometimes they can be a bit stiff. Nah, in Indonesia, we are more flexible socially, but not always strict with time. And that's all for me. Then, how about you, Mursid?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think there are definitely some noticeable cultural differences between Indonesia and other countries, especially like Japan. People tend to be very disciplined, punctual, and really focused on their responsibilities. And everything is more structured, and there's a strong sense of professionalism there. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, the work environment, most of that, can feel a bit more flexible and relaxed in some sector, and people are generally more expressive and friendly, and the communications feels like warmer. And we also tend to value togetherness more, like having casual conversations even during work. So yeah, both have their own positive. Other countries can teach us disciplines and time management, while Indonesia has a strong sense of community and friendliness. I think experiencing both can really help us grow and adapt better more.
So, Rana, how long do you plan to stay in Japan? Does your company have a special period?
Yes, of course. It does. The third contract is 2 years with two attraction, which means the first contract is for 1 year and the second is for 2 years. And with the time span, as I've experienced in Japan, sometimes I feel lonely being far away from my family. Do you guys ever feel same way? Even though you're not far from home? How do you cope with it?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I maybe that's for me because Ari can meet his parents anytime. So yeah, I totally get what you mean. Because even though I'm not as far as you are, sometimes I still feel that kind of loneliness too. So it's not always about the distance. It's but more about feeling mentally tired or overwhelmed. So for me, I usually cope with it by staying connected with the people I'm close to. It's like I try to talk with my family or friends, even it's just a short chat or a quick video call. So it really helps to improve my mood. And beside that, I also try to keep myself busy with things I enjoy, such as watching movies, listening to music, or just taking a break and going out for a bit. And sometimes I also kind of remind myself why I'm doing all of this, like studying and working toward my future. And that kind of mindset always helped me. And but yeah, I think what you're feeling is completely normal, especially since you're in a different country and far from your family. It's not easy, but it also shows how strong you are for being able to go through it. And by the way, Rana, after spending some time in Japan, is there or are there any important life lessons you've learned during your time in Japan?
After I tried to socialize with the people here, I learned to become more disciplined and to follow the rules more strictly.
Mm, that's really insightful, bro. I can imagine how challenging it must be to adapt to new culture. So for those who might be interested in following in similar path, do you have any tips or advice for a friend who want to try working abroad, especially in Japan?
Mm. My tip is don't be lazy to learn, especially especially the language. It's difficult, but the most important thing when living abroad is speaking the language of the country. Anyway, I have a question for both of you. Before university, did you ever have the desire to work abroad or maybe pursue a career outside of Indonesian like I did?
Okay, maybe at first. For me, personally, honestly, yes. Before entering the university, I did have that thought, but it wasn't really a clear goal yet. It was more like curiosity. Yeah, I used to think that working abroad sounds exciting, new environment, different culture, and more challenge. But at that time, I didn't really know how to make it happen or what steps I should take. And it felt kind of far away and a bit unrealistic for me back then. And after entering university, though I started to learn more about opportunities like internships, exchange programs, and even career paths that could lead to working abroad. And now I can say that the interest is still there, but for now I want to focus more to myself for now. And how about you, Ari?
Mm, I'm actually working in Japan is quite interesting because Japan is a place I would like to visit in the future, but I'm not ready to work there, and I still have many responsibility here in Indonesia. Plus, being away from my family is something I will find hard to do. Right now, I am focused on finishing my studies and starting my career in Indonesia first. And I think I will be more ready after I sort out my responsibility here. And so far, no, I'm not thinking about working abroad. Mm, by the way, I have a question for you, Rana. If you could go back to the past, is there anything you would have changed or prepared more before going to Japan?
The thing I wish I had prepared better for is the language, because working and socializing use the foreign language that is not easily understood. It's not easy, especially when receive instruction from superior at work. So, for both of you, do you have clear plans or goals for the future after graduation?
Mm, okay, I'm first. My plan are still flexible, but for now, I want to focus on running my family business. I see this is a great chance to apply what I learned in university, uh, especially in about management and business. And I want to take the family business to the next level by bringing in new idea and using the technology I learned. Maybe after running the business for a few years, I will think about expanding it or even starting something new in another area. And I'm interested in there. And right now, my main focus is to develop to family business that's already here, and that's all from me. Maybe. How about you, Mursid?
Yeah, that's a great. That sounds great from you. So yeah, for me, my main goal right now is to finish my studies as best as I can, right? And I really want to graduate on time and make sure I understand what I've learned here, not just pass the class. And after that, I'm planning to try working in the data analyst field because that's something I'm really interested in. And during my studies, I started to get familiar with data related things, and I find it quite interesting to analyze data and turn it into useful insights. And of course, I know I still need to improve my skills, like using the tools or gaining more practical experience. So after graduations, I also want to keep learning and maybe take some courses or certifications to support my career path. Okay, so last but not least, Rana, what are your hopes for your future career and life, both in Japan and Indonesia?
Hmm. I hope I can build a stable career while I'm in Japan, gain more experience, and improve my skills. I also want to have a better life and be able to support my family. And also, my hope is I want all workers, both in Japan and Indonesia, to have better life and for their welfare to improve.
Wow, that's really a great hope, and it's inspiring to hear how you're not only thinking about your own future, but also about others. So I think that's all. All right. Thank you so much, Rana, for sharing your story and experience with us. It was really interesting and inspiring to hear about your journey in Japan. So we both wish you all the best for the future, both in your career and your life, and hopefully everything goes well for you. So thank you very much, and see you next time.
You're welcome, bro. See you next time.
Yeah.